I just ran into an OG, man, and this motherfucker 60, and he still reads the paper. I'm like, bruh, like, I know you 60 and everything, bro, but you gotta get on the internet. He still reads the paper, bro. He OG. He's 60. And I'm like, bro, you gotta read the internet. You gotta get on the internet, get on social media. He came around, he gave me a paper. I was like, bro, I haven't read a paper in many years. Since the fucking like the early 90s. I haven't like read a paper in like years. Most of the stuff or the information that I get is from the internet. You know, he came around with a newspaper. Bruh, are you fucking kidding me, bro? You gonna come around here with just a fucking goddamn newspaper, bro? Really? You tripping out here in these streets, bro. You tripping. Look, look. Let me show you real quick. This is what he brought me. But bruh, I haven't seen one of these in so goddamn long. It's like ancient. Like, like fucking bruh. He brought me a newspaper. Bruh, you tripping. I don't read shit like this no more. I get all my information from the internet. He was like, man, don't give a damn about no internet, man. I'm like, bruh, we don't read newspapers no more. All the shit that I get is from the internet. Well, he OG though, you know what I mean? He's the OG. He's 60 something years old, bro. He's OG. I'm not OG. A lot of you women, when you want to call me, I'm OG. No, I'm not OG. I'm 45. That's not OG. OG is 55, 60. That's OG. You feel what I'm saying? That's OG. 55, 60. Niggas in they mid 50s and in their 60s. That's OG. They're OG. I'm still young. Even though some of you females, you consider me, old or whatever. Nah, I'm still young. I'm still 45. I still got my legs. I can still bend. You know what I'm saying? Bend my legs down. I can still squat. You know what I'm saying? Old people can't squat, man. And that's another thing. I want to talk about aging, guys. It's not a good thing to age. You guys gotta understand, man. You're heading toward your last days of your life as you get older. I'm middle aged. I'm not old yet, but I'm middle aged, and I know I'm gonna get there soon in the future. But it fucking sucks to age, you know. You guys gotta understand. I got more women when I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? And through our life as men, we wanna have as many women as we possibly can in our life. And it sucks to go from like having a lot more women, to having less women in your life. You know what I'm saying? As you get older, as anybody, your options plummeted. You feel what I'm saying? You have less options as you get older. What's up with it? What's up with it, Tora? How you doing? As you get older, that's why you start thinking about like long-term relationships, and you start thinking about settling down as you get older, because your options, they dwindle. Look at that. Little Seven working tonight, bro. Little Seven is working tonight. How amazing is that? When you young in your 20s, man, you got all the options that you could fucking, imagine. But as time goes by, man, those looks, guys and girls, start to diminish. Nobody's young forever, man. When I was younger, man, I was a bad motherfucker, bro. And I'm still good looking, you know what I'm saying, as I get older. I'm still good looking, but I'm not as good looking as I was in my 20s. That fucking sucks to like have all your looks and have your youth and then get older and then all of a sudden, you know, you're not getting as much attention from females as you used to. It fucking sucks. You know what I'm saying? It fucking sucks. Aging sucks, guys, for everybody. It's gonna happen. You can't stop it. All you can do is just work out and try to keep your body in shape. You know what I'm saying? And keep the body fat percentage low. It's gonna happen. And it fucking sucks because you be thinking like, God damn, I had some options when I was in my 20s. And then you get to your 30s and them options start drying up. But that's why I say men get the bag so you won't have to deal with no options drying up. If you got your shit together, man, you'll always be able to attract women throughout your whole entire life. You feel what I'm saying? But it sucks. Aging sucks. It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks, bro. To have something and then lose it. To have had something and then lose it. You feel what I'm saying? It sucks to be like, damn, I was at the prime of my life in my 20s, man. I remember when I was pulling bitches left and right. But I told you guys, time, it takes away everything from you, including your looks. Time takes away looks. You know, little 7, she ain't gonna be beautiful like that as a 7 forever, man. Eventually, 5 years gonna pass, 6 years gonna pass, and she ain't gonna be 7 no more. She gonna be a little 6. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna be 7 no more. But it all comes with age, guys. Your looks go away, but at the same time, you gain knowledge. That's one thing about getting older. That's a good thing, is that you know a lot more in your 40s than you did when you was in your 20s. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, bro. The last video you did on Uber Lyft was on point. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, because I figure out that game, bro. Uber and Lyft, bro. They scamming you, bro. It's a scam. It's a scam. Because in your mind, you thinking you winning and you making a lot of money, but really you're not. Uber and Lyft is a scam. Don't forget that. Now back to what I was saying. It's just like as you get older, you realize that there's not a whole lot of women in your shit, and what I mean by shit is like you don't have a cesspool of women. When I was younger, I had everything. I had women my age. I had older women. I had MILFs. You feel what I'm saying? I had everything when I was young. I had what they call it, cougars. Okay? When you're young, you got like a bigger pool of women, like, and the same thing for women. Like when women are young, they got a wider choice of men, you know what I'm saying, to choose from. They got a lot of options. You hear what I'm saying? But the thing is about women, when they get older, they can't hide with their money, you know what I'm saying? Their money ain't gonna save them. The thing about us men, as you get older, we can still hide behind the bag, even though we get to be 40 something years old, we can still date young, hot women because of the money that we have. You know, like Sugar Daddy, the guy at 7-Eleven. You know, he got his woman draped in jewels and designer bags and all the other shit. Sugar Daddy got it going on. Even though he like, what, 60 or 70? He got his woman dressed in all kinds of fucking designer clothing, okay? And she ain't going nowhere. And some of you guys saying, well, she's still fucking Chad and Tyrone on the side. Yeah, that may be happening, but the guy got options, man. Sugar Daddy got options. You know, you gotta understand, Sugar Daddies, you know, they got women regardless if they're old or not. You know, if they're 40 and 50 and shit like that. Sugar Daddy's got options. He ain't gonna never be alone, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta work on your Sugar Daddyism. As you get older, you're supposed to be getting a lot of money, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can still continue to date young women, man. I told you niggas, man, prep for your older age. So you could be that Sugar Daddy that's dating younger women. I consider myself a Sugar Daddy, bro. I ain't like, you know, I ain't young no more, nigga. I'm a goddamn Sugar Daddy. And I'm 45 years old, bro. I might still look good for my age, man, but I'm still a Sugar Daddy. I don't care what nobody say. The women come around my channel, they see me like, oh damn, he got potential. He might blow up one day. He might get the bag one day. I might as well stick glue to him. And I'll be like, yeah, baby, you feel me? Go ahead and stick glue to me. Go ahead and stick to me like glue. Because I am going to blow up. You know what I'm saying? I am going to get the bag. Feel what I'm saying? So getting older is not a good thing, man. I advise you guys to prep, man. Please prep for your older age. Like, think about the shit or the moves that you do right now is going to benefit you in your old age. Please get ready for your old age. Don't get caught off guard and then get to your old age and be like, damn, it's already too late. I'm already old. You know what I'm saying? Nah, everything that you do right now is for your older age. You feel me? Everything that you do right now is for your older age. It's not for, you know, right now. You're saving money for your old age. You get in the bag, you're saving, you know, the bag for your older age. Especially when you be 30, you got to start thinking about, damn, eventually I'm going to be 60 one day. I got to start putting money away right now. You know what I'm saying? And have that money meet me at the finish line. Eventually, you know, I'm going to get old one day. So I got to prep. That's my mindset, guys. You thinking I'm like out here just trying to get the bag just for my health? Yeah, I'm trying to get the bag for my health. At the same time, I'm thinking about old age as I do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, God damn, I'm going to be an old motherfucker one day. And I'm still going to like young females. So I might as well get the bag right now so I can continue to date young females. Even though I'm in my 50s, I can still date 25, 30-year-old women. You feel what I'm saying? You know, in my 50s, I will want to date 25, 30, and even 35-year-old women. Women who are 35, I would want to date them in my 50s at least. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, I'm 40, what? I'm 45. And a female that's 30 is young to me. Like, I look at a 30-year-old woman, I be like, God damn, that's fucking young. Especially if she's 25. If she's 25, I'm like, God damn, that's young as hell. You know what I'm saying? 25, 30 is young for me. You feel what I'm saying? I brought me a new backpack. Look at it. That's a smooth backpack, nigga. That's a smooth backpack, along with my my um my sleeping bag, my backpack and my sleeping bag. You know what I'm saying? Like a female that's 30, that's young to me. I definitely will get with a woman that's 30, bro. I don't discriminate as long as she's not over like 35. Then that's cool. Yeah, I date women from 25, 30. Okay, and I'll give them some. You know, if I got the bag, she 32, and I'll give her some. I'll give her some goddamn shit, man. You know, feel what I'm saying? I'll give her some attention. You know what I'm saying? She over 35. I can't deal with her, man. Man, that's too goddamn old, man. I'm trying to have kids with this woman, and she ain't gonna be able to have them 3 kids at 35 plus. You feel what I'm saying? So if I want to have kids with this woman, she gotta be at least 25, 30. At the 35, I over 35, bro. That's too goddamn old. Especially if I got bag, you know, I got a lot of money. No, she gotta be, you know, like 32. You know what I'm saying? Now, okay, I could deal with that because she got some years to have children. You know, she's still fertile a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? I could deal with a female that's 30, 31, 32, 33. You know, and after that, it's like, okay, I cut it. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I need her from 25 to 32. You know what I'm saying? Like, after that, it's like, no, I'm good. What's up with it? Check out Tyson's place. When you want some breaking and entering done, you call us. I can't argue. Bless you. Be careful. All right. Man, king size. I haven't had this in so long. Man, I haven't had this in so long. Reese's peanut butter cup. I haven't had this in years.
Yeah. No ice cream?
No, not tonight.
Any lottery?
No, no.
Then who?
You got a 10 for 50?
Yeah, 51 to me. One, 18, 14, 15, 20, 40, and 50.
Thank you, bro.
Nice.
You gave me an extra dollar more, huh? I'm like, what?
You're lucky. Yeah, you're gonna go inside, ma'am. You're gonna go inside. Oh yeah, you're the boss.
Yeah, you the boss.
Yeah, buddy.
How can I do?
Oh, you did it good.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, man. I'm okay. Didn't win nothing tonight, but I'm good. Yeah, have a good night, dude. You get older, man, and then the thing is, you don't have as many options as you had before, so that sucks, right? As you age, you lose looks. You're not as youthful as you used to be. Yeah, it's not fun getting older, guys. I'm feeling it. You feel what I'm saying? I'm feeling it tonight. Like, damn, I used to have all these options, and then as you get older, you start getting. You still got options as you get older. Don't get me wrong. You still, as long as you work out and you take care of your body, you'll still have options. But it's not as many options as you did when you was like 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. It's just the options dry up after a while as you get older, and it gets worse without money. That's why I always preach about money, because as you get older, as you got the bag, you still continue to have options, all the way until you die. You feel what I'm saying? You got the bag, you'll still be able to have options throughout your whole entire life. Think about Tyrese. You think he really was hurting after his woman left him or his woman divorced him? Nah, he moved on quickly because he got the bag, so he was able to replace his wife and his girlfriend really easily. If he was a guy who didn't have money, he would have went through a drought of 6 months before he found another woman. That's why I say, as men, we get older, we get the bag, we won't have any droughts. As an average man, I have always had droughts throughout my whole entire existence as a man, period. Even when I was in my 20s, I had droughts, a 2 or 3 month drought. I couldn't find nothing. I couldn't find sex. And eventually, I kept going to bars and clubs, and I would find some sex, right? Because you're young. You in your 20s. You're 24, 25. You're still good looking. You'll find something as a young man. But as you get older, as the looks decrease, it gets harder and harder to find a woman that's really digging you like that. Like I said, when I was younger, I used to have females looking at me from a distance, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I used to have women winking their eyes at me and licking my ear. Remember that? Remember the story I told you about a female that licked my ear? I was 21, 23, or 22 years old or some shit like that. I knew I was in my early 20s though. I got done performing Capoeira. I had my shirt off, because in Capoeira, you got your shirt off, you got the belt on, you got the pants on, right? In Capoeira, you're always doing Capoeira with your shirt off. That's normal, it's natural, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to do it like that. You showing the cuts, you showing the muscles and shit. And I was in my early 20s. I remember a female just when I got done performing this shit, and I went into the crowd and started talking to people, I had a female lick me on my ear, bruh. You guys remember that shit? I done told this story so many goddamn times, because I ain't never forgot it. How this female gonna lick me in my ear and telling me to come meet her at a grocery store or some shit like that. But bruh, she licked me in my ear, just like I was a lollipop or some shit, bruh. And I was like, God damn, this female done lick me in my ear. I'm about to fuck the living dog shit out of her. And I was young. I remember going over there, meeting up with her and her friends. She was a little older though. You could tell she was 25, 26, or 27 or some shit like that. And I was 22, 23. And she just licked my ear like I was a chocolate ice cream bar, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. And that turned me on big time. And I pursued her. We went out. We hung out with her and her friends. We went back to her friend's house. Okay, I went back with her to her friend's house. We was all sitting at the table. We was about to eat. And somehow, some way, for some reason, me and her ended up inside her friend's bedroom, okay? I must have had pulled out my dick and started jerking off, and she licked my nuts, bro. And I busted a whole entire nut, on myself. And for some reason, I don't know why she reached out and touched the cum, but for some reason she did that. And that's how I remember, man, like how good it was when I was in my early 20s with females. It was just so easy to get sex. You basically was a Chad or a Tyrone or something like that, you know. And this is like 2002, bro. This technology wasn't even, that shit wasn't even like around a whole lot, bro. You feel what I'm saying? There was no Bumble, there was no Tinder, there was no Plenty of Fish. There was none of that shit, bro, back in the early 2000s, bro. I was a young buck. You feel what I'm saying? I got my glasses turned to the side and shit. Of course, I've been drinking. But I was a young buck, bro. She licked my ear, bro. I remember I was sitting there and I was talking to her about the performance. I had just got done, performing capoeira, man. And I was like shredded. Believe me, bro. I was 21 years old, 22, nigga. I was shredded. We talking about, nigga, you could see Bruce Lee muscles. I was Bruce Lee. Nigga, I had like a six-pack that was visible. Okay, we talking about every single, muscle you could see. Every single fucking six-pack. I mean, bro, like I had like Bruce Lee shreds. You feel what I'm saying? At 22, 20, 21, 23 years old. I think I was like 23 or something. But it was so easy to get a girlfriend around that time because technology hasn't, it wasn't like, technology wasn't taking off at that time, bro. We're talking about 9/11. Okay, 9/11, I was in Brazil. When 9/11 happened, I was in Brazil, all right? And in Brazil, I didn't have no problem getting women out there either, man. I was making out with females in Rio de Janeiro, with Rio de Janeiro. Okay, that's what they call it, right? But in Portuguese, called it Rio de Janeiro. That's how they pronounce Rio de Janeiro. That's what they call it nowadays, right? I was in Rio de Janeiro when 9/11 happened, and the airplanes went into the 12 into the shit. What am I saying? The airplanes went into the World Trade Center. Okay, I was there. I thought I was never gonna get home. Okay, and I thought, wow, the airports opened up. Okay, I was able to get back home and shit like that. Nigga, I remember all that. Hellcat OG, I remember 9/11, bro. When the World Trade Centers got hit by airplanes, I was in Rio de Janeiro. I wasn't in, shit, I can't even talk. I wasn't in the US. You feel what I'm saying? I wasn't in the US. I was not in the US. I was out there in Brazil. At the time, I had a girlfriend, and then not only that, I was being a player in Brazil. I had multiple girlfriends. Remember I told you about the female that I brought to my house, and she found condoms in my bathroom? Because she came out of the bathroom, she was like, camisinha, camisinha. Camisinha means a condom. And she said, in the lixo means in the garbage can, right? And I went in there and I said, you know what? I let my friend use this hotel or this I let him use my apartment, and he left condoms in the bathroom. I'm sorry, and I did. I didn't tell her the whole truth though. I didn't tell her that I had another bitch inside the living room just tearing that pussy up, and he had the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? I let that motherfucker have the bedroom, and I was in the living room tearing pussy up. So I didn't tell her all that. But that was the young days of my life, bro. Them days I can never get back. And I don't know if I was a Tyrone. I can't say I was a Tyrone. I would have had more women than if I was a Tyrone. You feel me? Uh, I was more of a maybe like a 7. Yeah, I can say I was a 7 in looks because I had women approaching me. You feel what I'm saying? In my 20s, but the main story of this video is what I'm saying is like looks don't last forever, and the older you get without money, the less options you will have. But men, like I said, men, we could get a lot of money and we could still have women, young women, you know, hitting on us and trying to be with us. Like I said, remember that 121-year-old female that asked me about the lottery? She was 21 years old, bro, and I was like 40 something. These women don't give a damn about your age when it comes to money, bro. You a 45-year-old woman, you a 45-year-old man with the bag. They're gonna hit on you. They're gonna approach you. You feel what I'm saying? They don't give a damn about your age, bro. Especially if you're just in your 40s, they'll deal with you. They'll be like, okay, this nigga got the bag. He could take me shopping. He could take care of me. Fuck his age. I don't give a damn about what his age is. Like that's what I say, man. Hurry up and get the bag, man. As you get older, you know what I'm saying. Without the bag, you have less options. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, it sucks like getting old. It's just like, I don't have the options I used to have. I know if I had the bag, I still would have a good amount of options. But I don't have the bag right now. So it's like, I'm dealing with the options that approach me. Like women who are below average looking. I don't want to be with a woman who's below average looking. They approach me all the time because I'm above their looks level. The only way a female is gonna approach you if she's like level. That's the only time in America a female would approach you because she sees you as better looking than her, so she's gonna approach you. I got females in their their 40s and shit like that, around my age, and they're below average looking, and they'll approach me like sub 5 star. No problem approaching me, and interest at I didn't have no interest with sub 5 stalker in the beginning. She kept approaching me and approaching me and approaching me, and I was just like, bitch, you are below average looking, you are ugly, you are tore up from the flow up. I am not trying to be with you. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, man, back to what I was saying, it's just like the aging part, guys. It's not cool. Because then you remember how many options you had when you was young, and you miss those days. You feel what I'm saying? You miss those days of just having just options. Like, and then as you get older, you rely on your money to get the young, hot tenderoni. You can't get them young, hot tenderonis no more as you age. I'm sorry, guys. You get to your 40s, you can't rely on your looks anymore. I'm sorry. Them days are gone. Relying on your looks, I'm good, Tara. Relying on your looks as you get older as a man is just no. You can't do that no more. You're 40 something. No, you can't, no. No, I tried to do that. That's not gonna work. Not gonna work. And that's why I say aging sucks. It's not You know, you wish you could stay young forever, you know, but you can't. The years go by so quickly. You feel what I'm saying? The years go by really quickly, and you know, you'll become an incel if we don't get your bread right. You know, as an older man. Yeah, you will. And you'll be old and alone. Because looks don't last forever. Guys, I hate to break that shit to you. I hate to break it to you. But we all gonna die someday. And we start getting gray hairs, we start getting wrinkles, we start getting double chins, you know, the body is sagging, you know, it's hard to keep a six pack as you get older, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're on a strict diet, you're not gonna keep a six pack. I don't care what you're saying. As an older man in his 40s, if you're not on a strict diet, you're not gonna maintain a six pack. You're not gonna get shredded. Maybe like when you was in your 20s, you could fucking like eat whatever you want and maintain a fucking goddamn a metabolism as high as the sky. You know what I'm saying? When you in your 20s, you can eat whatever you want and still continue to have a six pack. When you get to your 40s, you can't eat whatever you want and have a six pack. That's not gonna happen. You gotta be on a diet, a strict diet in your 40s. You feel what I'm saying? We talking about strict. We talking about we ain't having no cheat days. We having cheat meals around this motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't having no cheat days, because when you young, you can have a cheat day. Eat whatever you want in that day. But when you get older, in your 40s, you're having cheat meals. Meaning that you can have one cheat meal throughout the week. Ain't that a bitch? I remember, man, I used to be a teeny bopper too, man. Singing Drew Hill songs. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you need. Back in the 90s and shit. Back when Drew Hill was hot. 112 was hot. You know what I'm saying? Blackstreet was hot. Forget my progress. I'm begging you. You're my heart. You're my soul. So much control. You know what I'm saying? Back when the R&B niggas was out, bro. Them days are gone, man. It ain't like what it used to be. And it'll never go back to where it used to be. That's why I say aging sucks. It's just what you had before, you don't have it no more. You feel what I'm saying? That's why it sucks. Now, if you got the bag, it don't affect you. Like you a guy, you getting older, you got the bag, it don't affect you. You can still continue to date young females. But if you ain't got the bag and you're getting older, it fucking sucks. Your options sucks. You know what I'm saying? You can only find women around your age. Ain't like what it used to be. Them days are gone. Them days are gone, baby. You know what I'm saying? What time is it? Yeah, we gotta end this live. But, you know, that's just the way it is, guys. I know that I'm not gonna live forever, man. Eventually, I'm gonna die. Everybody gonna die. Shit, man. We only living once out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you gotta understand. You know, you ain't gonna stay good looking forever. Your looks fade. Throughout year after year, as the years go by, looks fade. It's just the way it is, guys. It's just the way it is. You know, you're not as attractive as you used to be. You're not getting females' attention like I said, man, when I was in my 20s, I was a bad motherfucker, bro. We talking about I had females just cutting their eyes at me from a distance. I used to be sitting there just minding my own business, and I'll see a female just looking at me, just cutting her eyes at me. And I'll be like, I'm gonna go over there and talk to her, man, cause she over there looking at me. I'm gonna go over there, cause you got the confidence. So you like, what, 22 years old? You walk over there, like, baby, what's up? How you doing? I seen you looking at me from, and I like to get to know you better. Give me your number real quick, and I'll put it in my little black book, because we didn't have no cell phones back in the day. So you just put it in, you write it on a piece of paper and shit with a pencil and a piece of paper. That's how you used to get females' numbers and shit. Ain't no fucking cell phones back in the day, man, nigga. That's how OG I am, bro. I'm totally OG. I'm OG. Well, I ain't that OG yet, nigga. I ain't like 50 or 60 yet, nigga. But I'm getting up there. But it was like that. It was no cell phones, bro. You know what I'm saying? Back in the 90s, nigga, no cell phones. You had to write a woman down. You had to write her name down on a piece of paper. And I was a teenager in the 90s, okay? Back when Tupac was alive and when he got killed, I was like 16 years old, okay? So I remember Tupac when he was alive, nigga. I used to listen to all of his goddamn songs and shit, especially when he came out with that song called I Get Around. I remember, back to get wrecked. All those who respect, keep their hoes in check, and they don't sweat a brother majorly, and I don't know why your girl keeps paging me, and I can see why. That was my shit, bro. You feel what I'm saying? But it's not like what it used to be. Gray hairs will pop up. Wrinkles pop up. That's why you gotta say the bag gotta pop up. I might be older and I got a few gray hairs, but I got the bag. That's why I say you prep yourself, you know what I'm saying, as you get older, man. Because them days are gonna come around. Well, I say all you Chaz and Tyrone's, your looks gonna fade too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm bad. I got all the bitches. Nigga, you won't be saying that shit in your 40s and your 50s. You'll be talking about, God damn, where them bitches go, man? I ain't getting them bitches like I used to. Bruh, it takes time. Time takes away looks. It really does. You don't stay good looking forever, bro. Look at Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington was a pretty boy back in the 90s, bro. In the early 2000s. Salt-N-Pepa used to always talk about this nigga and their rhymes and shit. What did Peppa say? What did Peppa say when she came through with that, what a man, what a man? Remember Salt-N-Pepa came out with that song called What a Man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. And she was like, I want a man with a Denzel face. I want a man with a Denzel face. You know what I'm saying? Back when Denzel was a pretty boy, he was young. You know what I'm saying? But those days didn't last. You think they talk about, I want a Denzel face right now in hip hop music? Think again. Denzel is 70. Them looks are gone, nigga. That nigga's an old man now. Ain't no Nicki Minaj or somebody talking about they want a Denzel man now. He old. But he still got the bag though. That's the most important thing. That Denzel Washington still got the bag. You know what I'm saying? He got money. Feel what I'm saying? So looks fade, and that's why I say you prep for those years, man. That's why I say right now, you guys need to start prepping for those years. When those years come around, when you old, you gotta prep for them. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video. You guys have a good night. I'll see y'all in the morning. That's how I do it. I'll see y'all in the morning. Peace out, take care, and bless. I'm out.